So that that process of the sun, right? This is a new video. I had to cut it off. So I'm talking about how the sun affects life on Earth and everything on Earth, and it sustains life. So in the sun, in the core of the sun, right? You got all these atoms reacting in a very dramatic, intense way. You know what I mean? And those atoms are so hot and vibrating so fucking fast that they start fusing together. Essentially, that's what they call solar fusion. And that solar fusion is when the atoms fucking combine together, and they will fucking get so intense they burst, right? And they burst, they want to fucking get when they burst, they're trying to exit the fucking core of the sun, right? So they essentially they exit the fucking sun, and that's what they call photons. Photons then fucking take literally, they're traveling at speed of fucking light. It takes like 7 minutes for that fucking those photons to reach Earth, right? But everything, like, you get plants and shit, right? These plants, if you put them under a microscope, you'll see these little fucking like little hairs and little fucking like little pads on them and shit, like fucking those capture those photons, and essentially that's what gives them life, and that's their food, right? And you take that on a grander scale, right? Same with everything on Earth, not just the plants and shit. Then it's just like us, like everything in life is energy, right? We are complete energy, and everything vibrates on different levels, right? And here on Earth, the sun is what sustains that life, right? Now, if you look at up in the sky at night, you see all these stars, right? Essentially, those stars are not stars; there are other suns, right? Just like if you're far enough away to see our sun, it'd look just like another star within the grand mass of fucking stars, right? Um, so I mean, the closest fucking star from the sun, the closest fucking other sun to us is Alpha Centauri, and that fucking is 3 3.4 light years away from us right now. A light year is how long it takes fucking light to travel within a year. Obviously, I just told you how fucking fast light will travel from the sun to the earth in 7 minutes, right? That's 7 minutes. We're talking about a year of that. Fucking, that's fucking pretty fucking far away. That's why we can't. There's no way to get there. Like right now, we're trying to figure out a way we would even get there. But that's the closest fucking star to us besides our sun, you know. And they're starting. I don't want to get all into that. That's a whole other thing. But Alpha Centauri, they found another. There's planets over there that orbit. Well, there's one that Alpha Centauri B that orbits pretty close to the habitable zone over there. It's kind of close, like kind of Earth, but it's tidally locked to the sun, so it doesn't fucking spin like Earth does. So it's not day and night. Like one side of that planet's gonna be always light, other side's gonna be always dark. One side's gonna be really hot, and the other side's gonna be really fucking cold. But if you meet in the middle, you'll fucking it'll be like the habitable zone of that planet. That's another fucking shitty part about it. You'd have to fucking remain in that habitable zone, or you're gonna burn to death or freeze to death, essentially, right? But I'm not trying to get into that. I'm just talking about energy, um, and that energy, pretty much energy, everything in life's energy. Energy all comes from the universe, right? The universe started is nothing, right? It's basically gravity, and gravity fucking starts like the Big Bang, right? It all started as gases, and gases start fucking uh, to form over time. Billions. Our universe is only fucking literally. It's a long time, but it doesn't seem that long. But our universe is only 13.5 billion years old. Um, so fucking and it's always expanding. That's the crazy thing about. There's no end of the universe. The universe is still growing now. It's never ending because it's never, you know. And if you fucking traveled 13.5 billion light years away, that's basically you're traveling back through time, right? And you'll reach that fucking point where at the end it's still expanding, but it's so far complex that to even grasp that fucking that notion, right? But anyway, everything in life, the planets, stars, everything, humans is all energy, right? We all derive, so everything is tied together. We're all one, right? And energy is always vibrating. We are walking forms of energy vibrating at different levels. And in life, I believe that if we could learn to come into that knowledge and understand a little better, we'd understand how to vibrate on more suitable levels in order for us to get along better and to coexist, right? But unfortunately, it's not going to happen like that. It doesn't look like it's ever gonna happen. It sucks, but it's something seems so simple, but it's something so fucking complex for humans. It's so stupid. There's a psychic um, that fucking pretty much the psychic was incarcerated by her country at one point because the country in prison people say there were psychics and shit and they didn't believe in it until she was thrown in prison because she's predicted that one of their country's leaders was going to die on a certain date. They threw her in prison for it, but that dude ended up dying on that date from natural causes. So they actually took her out of prison and started like worshiping her, and she was actually like fucking very, very praised by her people. She actually predicted the fucking 9/11 on that day. Stillbirds was going to fly into the fucking trade towers. She actually predicted that the 43rd president was going to be an African American. So she was right on point with fucking certain days, certain these huge events, right? This bitch was a real deal. She says that eventually there's gonna come to a point in with humans that we uh are we're gonna get past the notion of emotion and feeling the, those feelings, and we're gonna uh, be able to unlock more uses of our brain, and we're not gonna have that emotions tying us down, and we're gonna fucking reach a far more divine, complex way of living, and pretty much she says we're gonna be able to communicate with God, and essentially when the end of the world comes, it's not gonna be the end of the world because we're gonna already be inhabiting other planets, and it's just hopefully from the sounds of it, we're gonna evolve, and it's just gonna take fucking more time, just like the universe. However, right here in my belief system is the energy with people that that we that live amongst us and shit is just we come in our soul, right? Uh, I believe that each human lives fucking thousands of lives, past lives, and in those past lives we have certain people that we've met before, and certain people that was really um, really like made a significant impact on our fucking existence, and we fucking I just learned uh, not too long ago I ran into an individual that when I met her it was all one thing, but when I actually got sat down and had our time together, that fucking it before that time it was like she I was so fucking just blinded. I didn't have no idea, man. She just opened my eyes to a spiritual awakening, man. And that moment, I think, was like preordained in my existence and shit. Like that was meant to happen. Our souls, like I'm positive that we've known each other in past lives, and I was destined to come into contact with her again. Thus, like a soul tie or a fucking twin flame. I was thinking it was some like a twin flame. Um, she fucking that intensity of that fucking reunion, that union that we had was so intense. I didn't think that energy even existed in the world. It was just something. It was really beautiful, man, and it really sucks because she had this huge impact on my life, and we had this agreement that we both agreed on that it was something different, man. We can even talk at the time, it was like stuttering, like it was intense. It was a beautiful moment, right? But and I thought it sucks that it ended the way it is. I don't understand why, man. She told me to watch for signs and shit, uh, and coincidences and shit. And once I started doing that after I met her, they were so intense. Like I could tell you the shit that happened after that. Like that most people wouldn't even believe me. You know what I mean? I had to stop. Uh, telling her about these coincidences because they were so fucking far-fetched and complex and like impossible that like almost like it would seem like I'm lying, you know. But shit happened, man, and I just wish that we could have stayed on that same fucking wavelength because it could have been pretty beautiful, man. And I still miss her. But she said it. She believes that her existence in this lifetime right now is to open up a lot of people's eyes. Different people comes in people's lives like she did mine, and opened my eyes to some shit, and it changed my life really. And I didn't want to agree with her on that because then that means that she'd only be here for a select amount of time and dip. I didn't want to accept that, but it's looking more and more like that's what it is, you know. However, so uh, I believe that we live so many lives. In each life that we learn, and we grow, and we evolve. In each one of those lives, we are assigned a spirit guide to walk with us through every one of those lives. It's the same one, and they pretty much help us throw things in our path that we are to make sure certain events happen, and to guide us through these lives and learn the most we can in each life. You know, that's why some are subjected to so fucking harsh fucking uh living situations and shit, and others are seem so blessed. You know, it's just there's their souls on a different a different point in that journey, and they're just learning at different times. They're all gonna have to experience very bad, and all you're gonna experience really good. And essentially, really, after we die, there's somebody asks our soul, are we ready to stay in spirit world, or we want to come back? And our soul's gonna almost every time it's gonna tell us we're gonna come back, want to learn more, until we get to the point where we've lived so many lives, so fucking have so much knowledge that we become a spirit guide, and we walk with people and 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 help people. In a sense, we become guardian angels, right? And go up that chain of command and shit. And life is just so complex, man. It's just so it's beautiful, man. And it's just it's our brains are not even we haven't even unlocked enough of our brain to even fathom just how complex it is. It's fucking really fucking intense, you know. Like you take this, like everything's energy, and everything we all energy, everything is energy, and it all comes from space, our universe, right? You take, for instance, our universe alone, right? Our the Milky Way galaxy is so fucking big, dude. It's so fucking big. And I just told you about the fucking star, how far the closest star is, right? And that's 3.4 light years away. And this is the closest star to us, right? Besides our sun. um Now there's trillions of other stars out there, and that's just stars. In our galaxy, there's trillions of other fucking galaxies out there. So you know, I know for a fact there's a lot more fucking places than Earth that sustain life, and it's just it's. I think the government knows it too. Like, and it comes into the notion of like God and the devil, right? Um, Throughout mankind, there's all these civilizations that and their hieroglyphs and pyramids that they worship a fucking serpent god that came and taught them about the stars and the universe and how to make tools and stuff like that, right? If you read about it in the Bible, that's what Satan did. And fucking, so they're saying these people, this god came down and taught them about this shit, and they're depicting these fucking this character on the hieroglyphs and mention it in all their ancient texts and shit, and about the same fucking person every time throughout every civilization. And some of the pictures there, it's like a serpent god, right? And they say the government won't tell us about fucking aliens because they don't think that we can handle it, right? And you start thinking more about that, then why couldn't we handle it? Because is what you're trying to say is because maybe our whole belief in God and the devil is actually fucking aliens. And you look at the temples, the pyramids on Earth, they're perfectly symmetrical to line with the stars, and it's perfectly on the equator of the Earth. And just the way that the pyramids were built, so fucking complex that the tools, it was impossible for them to have the tools and the knowledge to fucking create those fucking pyramids. And not only that, get the building materials as heavy as they were to even build those things. And they had help from some fucking civilization, just like those pictures of those fucking on the wall, man. They're pictures of aliens, you know, the aliens that fucking helped them do all that shit. People need to open their eyes to that shit, you know. Um, and maybe those, I think that maybe aliens fucking were a spawn of those aliens that came here, and pretty much if you look at our DNA, when analyzed and shit, it's for from evolving from uh Homo sapien, and just how the human evolved from all those thousands of years, right? It's pretty fucking crazy because they found a point in that lineage of our DNA that it was not something that was natural. It was fucking something that was altered, and its patterns completely changed, like almost like aliens came here and altered their DNA and made an offspring of us. And that's essentially something that I believe, some shit similar to that. I'm not really too fucking sure exactly what, but I am only learning this shit. And like I said, I'm making this video to tell you about my beliefs in life, and essentially this video can reach people want to know about me. And like with that terminal illness, I mentioned I have a terminal illness I don't like to talk about because I don't want people to feel bad, uh, to think I'm trying to get people to feel bad for me, because 9 times out of 10 people talk about a terminal illness because they're trying to gain sympathy. That's the biggest problem with me even talking about it. I'm not trying to gain sympathy. When I bring it up, it's to fucking touch bases on things I feel like need to be talked about, because there's a time, there's a ticking. My timer's a little shorter than others, or whatever. So I want to get certain things out there, like this video. Um, so yeah, that's my belief with pretty much that. And energy is so intense that we walk past somebody, and for instance, at a point in my life I was so vibrating on such a low frequency and so fucking sad. I was numb walking, like, oh my god, how can I be this sad? If somebody would have pulled up on me and said, hey man, jump in the car, if fucking you're not homeless no more, man, and just saved me from that. Like, that energy was so fucking strong, that negative energy. Everybody I walked past that day, it would have affected them somehow or another. And everybody they fucking came across that day, it would have fucking, like a domino effect. It affected, and all that negative energy fucking. Now, for that intensive energy to be fucking mitten through our community, man, is fucked up, man. So and to replace it with something so positive like that, can you imagine the effects, right? So you talk about how easy would it be to change the world? Now, if you ask everybody in the world to do one simple thing, one little thing, one positive thing for somebody else, just in that day, just one stupid thing, whether you're just complimenting somebody or just helping them something, instead it just one thing every day. Imagine just that scenario alone, that one thing every day, that alone would change the world. Now, if those people would actually do that multiple times a day, which is very easy to do, simple fucking things, compliments and fucking that shit, it would, that energy spreading, man, and it's gonna be producing more positive energy, and it's gonna change the world. And it's just sad that people don't realize that, and even if they do realize it, they just don't do nothing about it. They don't want to. It's really sad. It's something that can be so, it can fix so easy, man. And it's almost like it's time for God or whatever to replenish the earth, because it's gotten so fucking far gone. It's fucked up. And say, for instance, God judges you for what's in on Judgment Day. I think He's gonna judge people for what's truly in their heart, right? And so you take these people that see drug addicts or something, and they call the cops, and they want to fucking put them in jail, and fucking that alone take their freedom away just because their addiction. Like, that's, imagine what else is in your heart. That if you wish that upon people for something that doesn't even affect you, and what's truly really in your heart, how do you view things? What do you fiend for? What do you want to see? Like, God's gonna weigh that out, and a lot of people are gonna be in a rude awakening when that happens. I'm pretty confident on my where I stand on that point, man, and that's one thing I can stand by. Um, I live my life to a point I don't think I have nothing to fear when I die, and I do know that there was a man that came here that died for our sins, and that's a fact, and I know that to be true, and I know that Jesus did that for us, and I know my soul, I'm gonna be all right when I go, until we meet again in another life. There's that, and we will meet again. For anybody's watching this video, you're gonna see me again. in some other life. So don't cry too much. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Cry me a river about it. I'll be back. um, so yeah, there's Colton Eatchel and his belief systems. A little brief. What makes me me? What makes me me TV? Yeah, only on fucking NBC. Signing out with an LBC SLC CBA, nigga. I love y'all. I love y'all.